welcome to another edition of Throwback Thursday. This is a little weekly series where I dig back into my stash to find an older paper collection or tool or idea, and I give it a little remake to freshen it up and share it with you here. Don't tell anyone, but tomorrow's my husband's birthday, and I haven't made the card yet, so today we're going to make a birthday card for Dale. He does all the music for my videos, and he loves the beach. So I went through my stash and I found this Authentique Voyage bundle, and I'm not sure, this was 2019, so we're going back a little bit. This is the 6x6 pad. I'll just show you very quickly. Probably a lot of you have this in your stash. This is one of my favorite collections because it's beach, nautical, patriotic, kind of all rolled into one. And since my husband's birthday is just 2 days after 4th of July, I thought this would be a great option. So once again, I went into my stash and limited myself to only working with pieces that had already been cut. And I thought about what kind of card I wanted to make. So here's my little stack of scraps, right? And I even had this card base was already in there. And we're going to turn this 6x6 card base into a twisted easel, which is going to work really great because look, see, sailboat, sails, triangles, triangle, it all kind of comes together. So I'll just show you real quickly how I did this. For a twisted easel card, you just make your basic 6x6, score it in half at 6, and then you line up the points. And my score tool, I'm not sure if you can see, but it actually has this nifty little thing right here that shows this is 6. And then you just score it on the diagonal. They're super easy, but they make a real impression. So we're just gonna put this together. And I've pre-cut some pieces if I can find them. I hope y'all had a really good 4th of July. We did, but I stayed up way past my bedtime watching fireworks, so I'm in recovery mode today. This is a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 piece of paper. It's got these great lighthouses, fishing boats, anchors, beachy stuff. It's really fun. So you have to bear with me. Tuesday after what turned out to be a 4-day holiday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I work harder on these holiday weekends than I do on the weekends when I'm off. So then to cut your liners, it's real easy. Just cut the square, line up your tips, and cut diagonally. It's not hard to do. So I've got this cute little crab, and I'm inking everything with tea dye, distress ink. It kind of goes well with, it's kind of a lighter shade, kind of sandy, picks up on these beigey tones that are in the paper. So this one's going to go up here like that. And then on the bottom, I like these ropes. That's kind of manly. So we're going to put that on the bottom. And again, I didn't cut any fresh pieces of paper. I just worked with what I already had out and made it work. So that's always a fun challenge for me. And this is a good way for me to get my feet wet and get back in the saddle, being in the shop. Sometimes it's hard when you take a few days off from the studio. You kind of have to learn everything all over again. All right, so there's the inside basically. I'm not entirely sure what we're doing. I kind of have a vision, but not a plan. So you guys say you like that because you get to see my thought process. Here's this great whitewashed wood. I'm trying to keep this real manly. And this is going to go right here. Like this. And then on the back side, I've got the same pattern. And I'm just going to use it. Normally I don't do that, but I have it, so I might as well use it. All right. All right. These pieces, and I want one to go right here. So I want this to go right here. And then I'm going to flip it and I'm going to trim this corner off. Okay. And then I've got this scrap of this really cool anchor pattern. I'm just going to do the same thing. Just a fun way to use up scraps, right? All right. There's that. And we need to figure out a stopper. And what I thought was this really cool starfish. So I want to show you very quickly how I alter this Reneabouquet's beautiful board. This is one of her starfish. And it's pretty just as it is, but I want to grunge it up a little bit. So I'm taking some embossing ink and I'm just giving it good coverage here on a piece of scrap paper. And then I'm bringing in a funnel tray. And first I'm going to sprinkle this over. This is Dirty Sand, Baked Texture. This is from Seth Apter, and I just reach in and I sprinkle this over like if you're doing a heavy covering of salt. And see how that sticks? And then just tap the rest of this back into your jar and cover your jar so you don't end up with a disaster. And then you can put this back in, and this is Ancient Amber. And this gives it a really subtle gold. I mean, like, it's really beautiful. So I'm just hitting the areas that I didn't get with my Dirty Sand. Okay. Same thing. Let it dump off. I didn't tap it or anything. And put this back into the jar. I'm going to bring in my heat tool, and it's always a good idea to preheat your heat tool. Test it with your hand. You want the air that's coming out of it to be hot. And then a little reverse tweezer also comes in really handy, because this will heat emboss a whole lot faster if, you know, you can get the airflow through it. So I'm just going to heat this up. I'm going to just do this real quick. All right, see how neat that turned out? Really cool. All right, so, and it will be hot, so you give it a moment to cool. We're going to bring in our card, and here's our little belly band. Here's our 3x4 that I trimmed down and matted, and then I just strung those charms that we joined together and tied a little knot at the top, and I've backed this with some waste chipboard, and we're going to adhere this. I think I need to fill my glue bottle again. I'm going to do this right here. So I want this top corner to to kind of go over the top of my triangle. You can see that's just real simple, but it looks really neat. All right. And then I want it to sit about like this so that we've got, I want it to be able to be seen. So I went ahead and I used a banner die to cut this red. And then I want my, just have to figure out the placement here. Yes. So my starfish is going to act as the stopper. And I don't know if I want to use this little wood piece underneath. I kind of like it like that. It's kind of manly. Just like that. And then my all right, so I think I want this put down right here. Like that. Then I want my starfish right here, so that the point just touches the top of my card. I like that. That looks really good. And I'll probably brush this with a little white chalk paint. A neat trick. I've just painted this with a little ivory paint, and I'm going to bring in my dirty sand, and I'm just going to sprinkle this over to give it a sort of a beachy look. Tap it around a little bit. Maybe get a little bit more up in this corner. All right, that's pretty good. And now come in with my heat gun. See what a neat vintage finish that achieved. I love that. That's really cool. I also threaded a vintage button with some of our baker's twine. I'm going to set it right here to kind of finish that off. I thought about cutting this on the diagonal, which is actually kind of a cool idea. So the way I'm going to do that is just bring in a pencil. Let's do it on the back side so we can make darker marks. All right. Here and there. All right. So now I can see what I'm cutting. So here and here, and I'm just lining those marks up on my cutter. See? And I'm just going to cut. Oh, phooey. Oh. All right. Well, that did not go well. So there you go. There's a disaster. We're going to turn it into a victory. And we're just going to glue our sentiment right up here. And we're going to line it up perfectly and make that cut disappear. There you go. As long as you don't panic, you can always find a solution, even when things go awry. For a little finishing touch, I took this sticker, matted it on a little bit of my red, and I'm going to run this right along here. And then I have two more of these vintage buttons. One of them has a broken, I don't know what you call that, but where the thread goes through, the holes are broken. But I'm going to put these down at an angle on top. And I think that just kind of finishes this off perfectly. I think that's really good. I might go look for some little shells to scatter over here too. Okay, let's see what we can do to bring a little more beach into this. I've got this, this is lichen, but it is a very good substitute for seaweed. Put this down right here. And then I've got some of my little shells that I've collected from along the shore. So let's put some hot glue in here. Let's take this white one that has just a touch of the beige in it, right there. Let's take this one and tuck it in right here. And let's take this little whelk. See if we can squeeze it in right there. Wow, now that finishes the card off. I am really pleased with that, guys. I like that a lot. So there we go, a happy birthday card for Dale, but don't tell. I'll have it at his breakfast place tomorrow morning. And that's my super quick Throwback Thursday tutorial for the day after 4th of July. If you have a nautical fan, beach fan in your home, you can do the same design. I thank you so much for joining me. This is Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Go get your craft on. Bye.